Are you pushing yourself through the same intense workouts you did in your 30s, wondering why you're constantly sore, tired, and feeling older instead of stronger? If this sounds like you, type strength in the comments. Today, I'm counting down the 11 worst exercises for women over 50, from risky to absolutely dangerous for your aging body. And stick around, because number 1 is being taught in gyms everywhere and could be the reason you're dealing with chronic pain and injuries. Meet Rebecca, a 55-year-old teacher from Arizona. Last year, she was determined to get back in shape and started doing high-intensity workouts 5 days a week, including burpees, heavy deadlifts, and long runs, just like she used to do. She couldn't understand why she was constantly exhausted, her joints ached every morning, and she'd injured her lower back twice in 6 months. What Rebecca didn't realize was that 9 of the exercises on today's list were the foundation of her workout routine. Within 8 weeks of switching to age-appropriate alternatives, she lost 12 pounds, her energy returned, and she felt stronger and more confident than she had in years. Here's what's happening in your body after 50. Your bone density decreases by about 1% per year, your joints lose cartilage and become less flexible, and your recovery time increases significantly. This isn't just about getting older. Your tendons and ligaments become less elastic, making you more susceptible to tears and strains. Your muscle fibers also change, becoming less explosive but more endurance-oriented. The combination of decreased bone density, reduced joint mobility, and slower recovery creates a perfect storm for injury when you continue doing the same high-impact, high-intensity exercises that worked in your younger years. But here's the good news. Once you know which exercises are working against your changing body, you can build a workout routine that makes you stronger, not more fragile. Each exercise on this list puts unnecessary stress on your aging joints and connective tissues. Let's dive in. 11. High-impact aerobics and jumping exercises. Those high-energy aerobics classes with lots of jumping, bouncing, and quick direction changes might make you feel young and energetic, but they're actually putting tremendous stress on your joints, especially your knees, hips, and ankles. After 50, your cartilage has naturally thinned, and the shock-absorbing capacity of your joints is significantly reduced. Every time you land from a jump, the impact force can be 3 to 5 times your body weight. When your joints are already dealing with age-related wear and decreased lubrication, this repetitive pounding accelerates cartilage breakdown and increases your risk of stress fractures. The quick lateral movements and sudden stops common in high-impact aerobics also put your ligaments and tendons at risk. These connective tissues become less elastic with age, making them more prone to tears when subjected to sudden, forceful movements. Instead of high-impact aerobics, choose low-impact cardio options like walking on an incline, swimming, cycling, or using an elliptical machine. These activities give you the cardiovascular benefits without the joint-damaging impact. You can still get your heart rate up and burn calories while protecting your body for years to come. 10. Heavy overhead pressing. Lifting heavy weights overhead, whether it's military presses, shoulder presses, or overhead squats, becomes increasingly risky after 50 due to changes in your shoulder joint and spine. Your rotator cuff muscles, which stabilize your shoulder, naturally weaken with age and become more susceptible to tears. The overhead position also puts significant stress on your cervical spine and can compress the discs in your neck. When you add heavy weight to this position, you're creating a recipe for injury, especially if you have any existing neck or shoulder issues. Many women over 50 also develop forward head posture from years of desk work, which makes overhead movements even more problematic. This posture creates muscle imbalances that make the shoulder joint unstable during overhead exercises. Replace heavy overhead pressing with lateral raises, front raises, and chest-level pressing movements. Use resistance bands or lighter weights to strengthen your shoulders without putting them in compromising positions. Focus on building stability and mobility rather than lifting maximum weight overhead. 9. Deep squats and lunges. While squats and lunges can be beneficial exercises, going too deep puts excessive stress on your knee joints, which have already experienced decades of wear and tear. Deep squats, where your hips drop below your knees, can cause the cartilage in your knees to compress unevenly and increase pressure on your meniscus. The deep lunge position, especially with added weight, can also strain your hip flexors and put your knee in an unstable position. If you have any existing knee issues or limited ankle mobility, deep squats and lunges can exacerbate these problems and lead to injury. Many women over 50 also have tight hip flexors and limited ankle mobility from years of sitting, which makes it impossible to perform deep squats with proper form. Forcing these movements can lead to compensation patterns that stress other joints. Modify your squats and lunges by limiting the range of motion. Squat only to the point where your thighs are parallel to the floor, and keep your lunges at a comfortable depth. Use a chair or bench as a guide to ensure you're not going too low. Focus on perfect form rather than depth. 8. Long-distance running. While running can be a great form of exercise, long-distance running puts repetitive stress on your joints that can be problematic after 50. Each step creates an impact force of 2 to 3 times your body weight, and when you multiply that by thousands of steps, the cumulative stress on your knees, hips, and ankles becomes significant. Your body's ability to recover from this repetitive stress decreases with age, and the constant pounding can accelerate joint degeneration. Long-distance running also increases your risk of overuse injuries like stress fractures, tendinitis, and IT band syndrome. The repetitive nature of running in the same plane of motion can also create muscle imbalances and doesn't provide the varied movement patterns your body needs for functional strength and mobility. If you love running, limit your distance and frequency. Focus on shorter runs with proper recovery time between sessions. Consider alternating running days with low-impact activities like swimming or cycling. Pay attention to your body's signals and don't push through pain. 7. Plyometric exercises. Plyometric exercises like box jumps, jump squats, and burpees involve explosive movements that require your muscles to rapidly stretch and contract. While these exercises can be effective for building power, they're particularly risky for women over 50 because they place enormous stress on your joints and connective tissues. The explosive nature of plyometrics requires perfect timing and coordination between your muscles, and any slight delay or imbalance can result in injury. Your reaction time and proprioception naturally decline with age, making it harder to execute these movements safely. Plyometric exercises also require a high level of eccentric strength to control the landing phase. If your muscles aren't strong enough to handle the impact, the stress transfers to your joints and ligaments, increasing injury risk. Replace plyometric exercises with controlled strength training movements. Focus on building strength through full ranges of motion with weights or resistance bands. If you want to work on power, try medicine ball exercises or resistance band exercises that allow for explosive movement without the high-impact landing. 6. Heavy deadlifts. Deadlifts can be an excellent exercise for building posterior chain strength, but lifting heavy weights from the floor becomes increasingly risky after 50 due to changes in your spine and hip mobility. Your intervertebral discs naturally lose water content and become less flexible with age, making them more susceptible to injury under heavy loads. Many women over 50 also have limited hip mobility and tight hamstrings, which forces them to round their lower back during the deadlift movement. This spinal flexion under load is a recipe for disc herniation or muscle strain. The all-or-nothing nature of heavy deadlifts also doesn't allow for gradual progression or easy modification if you start to feel discomfort during the movement. Instead of deadlifts from the floor, try Romanian deadlifts or rack pulls, where the weight starts at knee height. This reduces the range of motion and allows you to maintain better spinal alignment. Use moderate weights and focus on perfect form rather than maximum load. Consider using a trap bar, which allows for a more natural movement pattern. Before we continue, if you are enjoying this video, give it a like. It tells YouTube to recommend it with more women. Subscribe or share with your friends that might need it. 5. Intense spinning classes. High-intensity spinning classes with heavy resistance and aggressive riding positions can be problematic for women over 50. The forward-leaning position puts stress on your lower back and neck, especially if you have limited hip flexibility or existing spinal issues. The high resistance and fast-paced intervals can also put excessive stress on your knees, particularly if the bike isn't properly adjusted for your body. Many spinning classes encourage pushing through discomfort, which can lead to overuse injuries when your recovery capacity is naturally decreased. The competitive atmosphere of group classes can also push you to work beyond your safe limits, ignoring your body's signals to slow down or modify the intensity. Choose moderate intensity cycling classes or ride at your own pace on a stationary bike. Make sure the bike is properly adjusted to your body proportions and don't feel pressured to match the instructor's intensity. Focus on maintaining good posture and listening to your body throughout the workout. 4. CrossFit and high-intensity interval training. CrossFit and HIIT workouts often combine multiple high-risk exercises into fast-paced, competitive environments that can be dangerous for women over 50. The emphasis on speed and intensity often comes at the expense of proper form, and the varied movements don't allow your body to adapt gradually to new stresses. The competitive nature of these workouts can push you to ignore pain signals and work beyond your safe capacity. The combination of heavy weights, explosive movements, and time pressure creates a perfect storm for injury when your recovery capacity is naturally decreased. Many CrossFit movements also require a high level of mobility and coordination that may be compromised by age-related changes in your joints and nervous system. If you enjoy varied workouts, create your own circuit training routine with bodyweight exercises and light weights. Focus on proper form and gradual progression rather than speed and intensity. Work with a qualified trainer who understands the needs of mature women and can modify exercises appropriately. 3. Heavy bench press. The bench press, especially with heavy weights, can be problematic for women over 50 due to the stress it places on your shoulders and the unnatural position it puts your body in. Lying flat on your back and pressing weight away from your chest can impinge the structures in your shoulder joint, particularly if you have any existing shoulder issues. The bench press also doesn't reflect any functional movement patterns you use in daily life, and the fixed position doesn't allow for natural movement variations that accommodate individual differences in joint structure. Heavy bench pressing can also put stress on your lower back if you arch excessively to generate more power, and the risk of having the weight fall on your chest increases if you experience muscle fatigue or coordination issues. Replace heavy bench pressing with push-ups, chest flies with dumbbells, or resistance band exercises. These alternatives allow for more natural movement patterns and can be easily modified to match your strength level. Focus on building functional pushing strength rather than maximum weight. 2. Sit-ups and crunches. Traditional sit-ups and crunches are among the worst exercises for women over 50 because they repeatedly flex your spine under load, which can compress your intervertebral discs and lead to back problems. The repetitive spinal flexion can also worsen forward head posture and contribute to neck pain. Sit-ups also create a shearing force on your lower back that increases with age as your discs become less resilient. The hip flexor muscles, which are often tight in women over 50, take over much of the work during sit-ups, reducing the effectiveness for your core muscles. The traditional crunch movement also doesn't reflect how your core muscles actually function in real life, where they work to stabilize your spine rather than create movement. Replace sit-ups and crunches with planks, modified planks, dead bugs, and bird dogs. These exercises strengthen your core muscles in their stabilizing function without putting harmful stress on your spine. Focus on maintaining neutral spine alignment and building endurance rather than doing high repetitions. 1. Burpees. Burpees are the absolute worst exercise for women over 50 because they combine multiple high-risk movements into one explosive, high-impact exercise. The movement requires you to drop to the floor, jump back into a plank, do a push-up, jump forward, and then jump up with your arms overhead, all in rapid succession. This exercise puts enormous stress on your wrists, shoulders, lower back, and knees all at the same time. The rapid transitions between positions don't allow your body to properly stabilize between movements, increasing the risk of injury at every phase. The high-impact nature of the jumping components can be devastating to joints that have already experienced decades of wear and tear. The explosive movements require perfect coordination and timing that becomes more difficult to maintain as your nervous system ages. Burpees also elevate your heart rate so quickly that they can be dangerous if you have any underlying cardiovascular issues, and the all-out effort required doesn't allow for gradual progression or easy modification. Replace burpees with a circuit of separate exercises: step-ups for cardio, modified push-ups for upper body strength, and planks for core stability. This gives you the same full-body workout benefits without the dangerous rapid transitions and high-impact movements. If you've made it this far, congratulations! These 11 exercises aren't just challenging, they're potentially harmful to your aging body and can actually accelerate the aging process rather than slow it down. Your body isn't broken, and you're not imagining the increased soreness and longer recovery times you're experiencing. The physical changes that happen after 50 are real, and they require a different approach to exercise than what worked in your younger years. Remember, this isn't about giving up on fitness, it's about training smarter, not harder. Every modification you make is supporting your body's ability to stay strong and healthy as you age. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. It tells YouTube to share it with more women who need this message. Subscribe for weekly videos on menopause fitness, strength training, and smart strategies to feel strong and confident in your changing body. And comment below. Which of these 11 exercises surprised you the most? I read every comment and love hearing about your experiences. Now that you know what exercises to avoid, you're probably wondering what you should be doing instead. Make sure to check out my video, The Perfect 20-Minute Workout for Women Over 50, where I share a complete exercise routine designed specifically for our changing bodies. You've got this, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way.